Hi guys, from time to time, what I like to do is post little memes in our Beyond Betrayal group that will get you thinking. And here's one I posted recently, that a person can have good qualities and still be toxic for you. Yeah, a person can have good qualities and still be toxic for you. I think that that's important to remember, is that, toxic people are not completely bad, is that, but nevertheless, they really lack the skills and resources upon which to build a strong relationship. So that got me thinking about what type of traits might a person have that is a good person, but they just have these toxic qualities that undermine a strong relationship. And so I began doing some research on that. And here's what I discovered. Let's just go through. There's 10. I'm sure there's more than 10, but there's 10 of these traits that good people may have that are toxic for relationship. One is that is manipulation. They may use charm or guilt to control others. And I see this so often, and it's just prevalent. One of the things that we're really trying to do with Beyond Betrayal is help folks to understand how to have healthier relationships. And even if a relationship went bad, that doesn't mean that you're forever consigned to having unhealthy relationships. But one of the things it does mean is that you need to begin to recognize some of these toxic traits. One is manipulation. Another one is a lack of accountability. Do they own their own stuff? And they refuse to take responsibility for their actions or mistakes and make appropriate amends. And, here again, that is a red flag when it comes to toxicity. Another one is narcissism. Excessive self-centeredness and the lack of empathy for others. It's all about me, And these are just, and the crazy thing, and I've known a lot of folks throughout my life and ministry, and the crazy thing is that people don't come with this warning sign tattooed on their forehead. Is that, I'm narcissistic, or I lack accountability, or I'm a manipulator. But one of the things that you have to do is that you have to learn how to begin to recognize this in your relationships and in your dealings with others. Here's one that is a toxic trait. That's a common one, is passive aggressiveness. And that's indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. So one of the things that we're trying to remedy, we actually have a webinar coming up called Driver's Training, and how to successfully navigate the freeways of conflict. And I think that every individual needs training. I know that I did. Some of this stuff is that after, bumping my head against the wall and stubbing my toe so many times, is that I finally found the way. And it's not because I'm so smart and invented it, is that I invested a lot of time, and I actually invested a lot of money trying to find better ways to do conflict and help other folks to learn how to do those. We're talking here about some of the toxic traits of likable people. Another one is gaslighting, and gaslighting is essentially making others question their reality or sanity. We see this all the time in dysfunctional relationships. And more, it's becoming just a part of our culture. And that folks, that they say, you didn't see what you saw, we didn't say that, or whatever. And I'm seeing that with politicians more and more, and with the media. And it's just become I'm almost like a plague in our culture nowadays. Another trait of likable people who can be toxic, and that's inconsistency. Whether it's frequent changes in behavior, mood, or commitment levels, is that inconsistent people are not good people to build strong relationships with. And sometimes it's a character problem. Sometimes it may be a physiological problem. If that's the case, and somebody has like is manic depressive or has a mood disorder, well, then it needs to be confronted, and proper medication needs to be administered. But most folks are not bipolar. Is that most folks just have a character problem, and that's the reason why they're inconsistent. Another one is overly critical. Folks that are always pointing out your flaws, and this works on both sides, but I do see this a lot with men body shaming women, and that or pointing out flaws or shortcomings or whatever else. Now, it does happen. I'm not saying that guys that women cannot be critical towards men also, but the overly critical person is someone that is going to be toxic, and they're not going to be safe to build a strong relationship with unless they recognize this in themselves and take measures to correct it. Just have a few more here. One is jealousy, excessive jealousy, and possessiveness. And I think that sometimes feeds into our own sense that, he or she really loves me, and that's why they're this way. But excessive jealousy or possessiveness can be an extraordinarily difficult burden in a relationship, and it's not a good quality upon which to have a healthy relationship. Boundary issues, not respecting others' boundaries or personal space. And one of the simplest tests of that is, are you able to give or receive a no? And say, no, I don't want to do that, and is that respected in the relationship? Finally, is that codependency, relying too heavily on someone else for emotional support and validation. It's a big problem. Matter of fact, they have a group called Codependence Anonymous that can help you, because oftentimes whenever you're dealing with somebody who is in practicing some sort of toxic behavior, and that's not being resolved in your relationships, is that relationship, it is because you're allowing it, we get what we tolerate, and you're allowing it to persist in that relationship, and so you're being codependent about that. Hey, there are 10 things that I wanted to share with you about how that likable people, desirable people, and people even that you're attracted to, some of their character traits that they may bring into your relationship that are toxic, and it's going to undermine your desire to have a successful and healthy relationship with them, unless these are addressed, unless they're brought out into the open. There are maybe some serious conversations about those matters, and they're resolved. Okay, well, that's it for now. I just wanted to share these thoughts